All right, back day in the 402 in my handy dandy Iron Rebel sweatshirt, starting out with some not mag grip, I'm sorry, same kind of handle, uh, prime angled pull downs. What we're really shooting for is when you do an exercise like this, again, emphasizing lat development. So you want to get something that's going to absolutely crush the lats in the shortened position. And this is an exercise that can do it really, really, really well. So you're probably asking yourself, Larry, why aren't you doing normal pull downs? Well, now normal pull downs bias the upper back. So what you want to do is what you're trying to do when you're trying to build back is that you want to try to separate your upper back from your lats. Okay, and the reason for that is that most of the movements that we do for back, we bias the upper back. Obviously, we'll get some lat in there, but we want all the lat, right? We want it contracted and shortened at the hardest contraction possible. And like I said, when you do a movement like this, you keep your elbow tight to the body, you achieve just that. Um, so this is something that I like to start off with from time to time. Lately, I've been doing a lot more rows to uh, start off my back routine. One thing I've been doing lately is reaching out to people um, with more training knowledge than me. And I wouldn't even, that's a bad way to say it. Not necessarily more training knowledge, but more knowledge uh, on the science and meshing the hardcoreness, quote unquote, of bodybuilding with science. So I reached out to John Jewett. He's an IFBB Pro 212 competitor, if you don't know. And initially, if you've been following along with the training vlog, is that I was kind of resetting stuff um, at the after the deload at the beginning of the week. So I talked to John about it, and it was just it was just a brief IG exchange, but I took a ton away from it. Um, Basically, I I I felt like I had been deloading wrong, but no one really said anything to me about it. Um, Mainly because I don't really bring it to anybody. But in any event, he said with a deload, you have to reduce the sets that you do, which I agree with. I absolutely agree with it. But the second thing that he said is that you don't reduce the weight. You keep the weight heavy. You keep the intensity relatively high, but you definitely want to reduce the amount of sets that you do. So I'm like, okay, well, if that was the case, I really didn't have to reset anything. So I didn't record my chest session yesterday, but I only went up to 110 pounds, and I hit some double digits on the reps, or at least tried to. I hit failure on a lot of stuff, and I was trying to keep some reps in the tank, so I have somewhere to go for my training. But with a revelation like this, I had to rethink some things. So I'm still a proponent of having some things like like chest or legs still leaving some reps in the tank for the time being. But going forward, uh, I'm not sure I'll do that. I think I'll just try to progress stronger at my own rate and just kind of force the envelope and see where that gets me. Um, Again, this is something I hadn't ever really thought of, because I was like, well, if you reduce the sets, you can reduce the weight and then just fully recover. And he's like, no, 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 no. You ain't got to worry about that. And so I said, hey, okay, you are the 212 competitor, and I will listen to you. Um, so you gotta always reach out to people and see if they can give you a quick tidbit of advice. And you never know, you can find your next coach. I think John is a smart individual. Not saying I would work with him because I ain't got no money, but I think whatever he puts out is worth listening to, because he's one of the few IFBB pros that's actually a certified strength and conditioning specialist, as well as a dietitian. Like, he went to school to be a dietitian. So I think it's absolutely awesome that we have access to people like that that do well on the pro circuit and also do well um, in their coaching endeavors, and they find time to reach out to people. Some folks don't do that. So I implore you to take the opportunity, and who knows, you may even find you a new coach. Let's talk about back building for a little bit. Um, so I know people have a way of compartmentalizing back training, much like they have a way of compartmentalizing training the upper back or the lat, right? Well, at least now. So when you think of a back that's a championship level back, you think of width, detail, thickness, um, condition, right? So what are the foundations of a championship level back? Width and thickness. What do most people lack in the back? Thickness. And it's not for a lack of trying. A lot of people do a lot of width stuff. Well, I want to be wide. I want to be wide. I want to be wide. Okay, so here's my reasoning for what I'm about to say. If you get super thick, you'll get wide. Eventually, you'll get wide. Well, why is that, Larry? Because your lats are going to grow out, right? So obviously, you're going to get a little bit wider um, in your back if you emphasize thickness exercises. And let's just be honest, not a lot of people have a real thick back, like a back that'll make you just go, whoa. Like Ronnie had it, Dorian had it, um, a couple others here and there have it. But Phil Heath does too, Kai Green, um, but a real thick, thick back. Um, that takes time to build. And you gotta row, right? So I am of the thought process that you should push thickness over width for back. Um, Now that's not to say you don't do any width building exercises. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that you need to make sure that you are building the thickest, nastiest, uh, latissimus dorsi, rhomboid, upper back area, lower back area that you can. And then at some point, you'll add in some width building exercises. Your shit like your chins and your lat pull downs. Well, pull downs, I'm sorry. Whatever. But my thing is, you know, roll some weight, pick up some weight off the floor, pick up some weight out the rack, and just really get after just trying to get real thick. And it'll pay off in the long run. So that's what I've been paying. That's what I've been paying attention to the last couple of years. That's what I'm trying to get anybody that trains with me that may be on the smaller side or trying to build back up, like the gentleman you see in the video, my frat brother and friend Fred Whitted, Mr. Check the Temperature, trying to get his weight back up. So we're going to be training from time to time. I have another frat brother that you've seen in videos. We're going to try to get his weight up. You see me training with him from time to time. But it's going to take a lot of rowing. It's going to take a lot of work. And it's going to take a lot of food, too. I need also everyone to keep in mind that back is a difficult body part to build. You really have to have a mind-muscle connection in order to get the most out of the movement, um, or movements rather. So I think you should probably, if you can't really train that heavy because you're not feeling your back, then obviously lighten the load and make sure you're putting all the pressure, quote unquote, on your lats, on your upper back, in any row movement that you do, that the weight is doing the job that it's supposed to do and having the pressure go where it's supposed to go. So, with that being said, you got to do there for a period of time. You got to keep your form tight. You should keep your form tight at all times, but it's okay to loosen up just a wee bit. Um, but just back is just so difficult to build. It's so difficult to build. It's like it's like legs, but you can't see it. You know, you have to really feel it. So you really have to concentrate on what you're doing. So finishing up with some hamstrings after that back workout. Again, if you looked at my Monday leg video, I'm trying to hit certain volume landmarks, and slowly volume is going to start increasing for the legs. So I went ahead and did 5 sets on Monday, and then I came here and did another 5 sets of seated leg curls to bring my volume up for the week for hamstrings to about 10 sets. So there we go. Simple, fast, easy, intense. Me and Mr. Check the Temperature Fred we will be in the gym tomorrow morning. We're gonna be training some arms. I haven't decided if I'm gonna drop that on IG or on here, but in any event, it's gonna be real good. And I'm gonna give you some good tips throughout. So make sure you like and subscribe to my channel. Um, if you want to holler at Mr. Check the Temperature, if you're a battle rap fan, just type in the YouTube search bar Mr. Check the Temperature, and you'll be able to find him there. So that's about it, guys. We're still working hard. We're still working very hard to make these necessary improvements, because 2022, come hell or high water, I'm putting it out there now. I'm coming back, and I'm going to do what I was put on this earth to do, I feel. So like and subscribe to the channel. Holler at me on social media. We'll talk to you later.